So the news that seemingly every single buyer in the Ontario 2021 real estate market has been waiting for has just come out. In these past few weeks of April 2021, the Ontario real estate market has come to a screeching halt.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm!
And that is what we are talking about today. Is this the start of a market reversal into a buyer's market? Are prices going to drop? My take on it as an active real estate agent in the field. And finally, what this means for you as a buyer or a seller. Before we dive into it, if you're new here, what's up? My name's Andre. I'm a real estate agent here in Ontario, selling and servicing the North Simcoe regions of Barrie, Innisfil, Angus, and Muskoka. On this channel, we talk about buying and selling tips, market news, and other real estate related content. So make sure to check out some of my other videos if you like this one. Also, drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on this video. Really quickly, I want to address this specific news or specific batch of news that we're probably going to start seeing all over the place. It is amazing for buyers. The fact that competition is down and that we have tons of more inventory coming to the market. It is amazing news for the buyers out there currently looking and future buyers that are going to be purchasing this year. It might be a little bit scary for sellers that have been on the fence and are not sure whether they should keep holding on or now is the best and final time to sell their property. But overall, this news doesn't paint the entire picture. It doesn't cover the market as a whole. Yes, I've been in properties that would have otherwise 2 months ago gotten 10 offers, no problem. And last week they had crickets on presentation day. But I also saw properties 4 days ago have 5 offers and sell for $20,000 more than the nearest comparable sale on the street. And the reasons for this is obviously number one, more listings on the market for the same amount of buyers out there. And number two is finishes. The properties that look nicer and are more done up are getting all the attention as opposed to the properties that are not. Whereas otherwise 2 months ago, we had no listings, so all properties were getting 10 or 15 offers. But now the properties that show and present well in photos, on media, and in person are the ones getting the attention and the offer of the current buyers out there. An easy example to relate to is that you probably know a street, neighborhood, or specific pocket of houses near a school or a river that buyers will no matter what pay more to be able to live there. So yes, overall, we have seen sales slow down and the amount of competition die out. However, don't be surprised if some specific pockets are still performing very, very well. It is true that properties that should have gotten 5 to 15 offers on presentation day are getting none in specific neighborhoods and submarkets, but overall as a buyer, the market hasn't completely shifted yet. You have to really look at the general market as well as submarkets in certain areas. So is this the start of a market reversal? And the truthful response is that I can't answer that question, and it is way too early to tell with the data that we've just been given. I want to compare what's going on to my 2021 spring market prediction video that I put out a couple months ago, in which I said 2 factors. I predicted that we would see the competition taper off, which I was completely wrong because in some cases it has totally died down and is non-existent. However, in some partial submarkets it is existent, so I wouldn't say I was completely wrong on that end. However, my argument to that is that we did not expect the absolute flood of new listings that we got to the market come the springtime. We did expect a good increase, but in some cases it tripled or even quintupled the amount of listings that we got per week to the amount of buyers that were still currently looking in the market, which is obviously a case as to why this competition has severely died down. But overall, it is completely too early to tell if a market reversal is going to happen, if it's happening, or what effects we are going to be seeing going forward with all this new competition no longer being present on new listings. The follow-up question that's probably on everyone's mind is, are prices going to drop? And in my opinion, yes and no. In my opinion, yes, prices are going to drop, but no, value is going to remain the same. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, if you are a seller that is watching this video and you know the property across from you sold for $750,000. If you're in Toronto, we'll say 1.2 million, but say it sold for $750,000. You list your property because it's very similar and you're on the market for 10 days and then you get an offer for $730,000. Are you going to take that offer? And the most likely answer is no. Why would you accept an offer and sell for a price that is less than what the comparable property sold for? You don't need to sell. It's not like you're in a forced situation to do it. You want to sell because you're upsizing or downsizing. Or if you do need to sell, you can probably afford to hold out a little longer until a buyer that is willing to pay you that same price, if not more, comes around. And that is why, in my opinion, value is not going to fall, because sellers who are in a much better position than we ever were in 2008 are not going to sell, and it's really going to be a situation where the supply is not going to budge on price, so the demand is going to have to come up and match the price of the supply because there's no alternative lumber prices have shot up and developments all across Ontario are delayed. Now with that, the strategy of listing very low and expecting multiple offers and selling 100,000 over asking is very quickly going to be phased out. And strategy B to that is that sellers will be now listing high but willing to accept a little lower. That is the scenario where yes, we are going to potentially see properties then selling for under asking price going forward, where we are going to see price drops, but overall I do not think value is going to fall. If you're a buyer watching this that purchased 3 months ago or even 3 weeks ago, don't worry, prices have not yet dipped and they're unlikely to do so. But let me know your opinion on this down below. Here's my take on this as an active real estate agent currently practicing in the field. I personally am seeing and feeling this in Barrie, where properties that are maybe not as well presented would have otherwise gotten 10 to 15 offers no problem, have nothing on presentation day, and properties that are nicely done up and well presented are getting all the attention, but not as much because there's so much more to choose from, or at least there's much more to choose from for the current existing pool of buyers. I will say though that I am surprised at just how quickly things changed. I remember the second week of April, we were bidding on a property and it had 8 offers on it. Now just 3 weeks later, everything has shifted. Had that property been listed now, how many offers would it get? Would it be 5? Would it be 2? Would it be 1? Would it be 0? At this point, it's crazy how things turned around, when a couple months ago we thought there would be no end to this craziness. So what does this mean for you as a buyer or a seller? My answer to that is a quote that I'm going to get tattooed across my forehead if this channel ever hits 100,000 subscribers, and that is, don't wait to buy real estate and wait. For buyers, it's great that there is less competition and more inventory on the market, and that if you are currently looking, you should continue to currently look. And if you find a property that suits your needs, you should purchase it, because really, we don't know what's gonna happen in the next 3 to 5 months. If this shift happened in 3 weeks and we went from hardcore seller's market to properties getting no offers, what's stopping it from completely shifting again and going back into a hardcore seller market, right? Obviously, we don't have the data to support it, but really anything can happen. So I think that as a buyer, waiting to see if prices drop, yes, it's risky. It might save you a little bit, but in the long run, understand that once you purchase, that property is yours. You can put appreciation into it. You can start renovating right away to make it worth more than it is. Right away, as soon as you move in, you're paying equity as opposed to potentially paying rent. So overall, if you're looking now, you should still look to purchase now, because again, we really don't know what's gonna happen next 3 to 5 months. And finally, for sellers, whether you have to move or want to move, unfortunately, your property will no longer sell itself. I mean, they never really did, but if you are going to be selling, you have now been dealt a slightly different hand. Any problems, interior or exterior wear and tear, painting a room, anything like that, now needs to be resolved before going to the market, before otherwise, where you can just throw your hands back and say, take the house as is and expect 10 offers on it. And if you think some shots on your phone is sufficient enough to be listing photos, well, you might have missed the chance on that scenario. Make sure to work with a realtor that will be offering high quality media on your property and will be actively working to market it throughout the entire listing duration, which we very well might see the days on market increase as we go forward into a cooler market. That's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you are thinking of buying, selling, or investing, or maybe just want to say hi, my contact info is listed on the realtor.ca link below, and I will see you in the next one.